Today we will discuss components of economics. Economics is a broad field that studies how individuals, businesses, governments, and societies allocate scarce resources. The components of economics can be categorized into several key areas. Microeconomics. This branch focuses on individual agents, such as consumers and firms, and their interactions in markets. Key components include supply and demand, price elasticity, consumer behavior, production and costs, market structures, perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, etc. Factor markets, macroeconomics. This area examines the economy as a whole and looks at aggregate indicators. Key components include gross domestic product, GDP, unemployment rates, inflation rates, fiscal policy, government spending and taxation, monetary policy, central bank actions, money supply, economic growth and business cycles, international economics. This component studies trade between countries and the impact of globalization. Key aspects include comparative advantage, balance of payments, exchange rates, trade policies and tariffs, foreign direct investment, development economics. This area focuses on the economic aspects of the development process in low-income countries. Key components include economic growth, poverty and inequality, human capital development, sustainable development, institutions and governance, behavioral economics. This emerging field integrates insights from psychology to understand economic decision-making. Key components include cognitive biases, decision-making processes, market behavior, labor economics. This area studies the dynamics of labor markets, employment, and wages. Key aspects include labor supply and demand, wage determination, labor market policies, public economics. This component looks at the role of government in the economy. Key areas include public goods and externalities, taxation and government expenditure, income distribution, environmental economics. This field examines the economic impact of environmental policies and the use of natural resources. Key components include environmental degradation, resource management, cost-benefit analysis of environmental policies, health economics. This area studies the efficiency of healthcare systems and the behavior of individuals in healthcare markets. Key aspects include healthcare financing, health outcomes, insurance markets. These components work together to provide a comprehensive understanding of how economies function and the various factors that influence economic behavior and policy. Moving towards the first microeconomic component, that is supply and demand. Supply and demand overview. Supply and demand are foundational concepts in economics that describe how the quantity of a good or service available in a market interacts with consumer desire for that good or service to determine prices and quantities sold. Demand. Definition. Demand refers to the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase at various price levels over a specific period. Law of demand. There is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. As prices decrease, demand typically increases, and vice versa. This relationship is illustrated by the demand curve, which usually slopes downward. Determinants of demand. Income. Changes in consumer income can affect demand for normal and inferior goods. Prices of related goods. This includes substitutes, goods that can replace each other, and complements, goods that are often used together. Consumer preferences, trends and changes in consumer tastes can shift demand. Expectations. Expectations of future prices can influence current demand. Number of buyers. More buyers in the market can increase overall demand. Supply. A definition. Supply refers to the quantity of a good or service that producers are willing and able to sell at different price levels over a specific time. Law of supply. There is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. As prices increase, the quantity supplied typically increases, which is represented by an upward sloping supply curve. Determinants of supply. Production costs. Changes in input prices can affect supply. E.g., if raw materials become cheaper, supply may increase. Technology. Advances in technology can make production more efficient, increasing supply. Number of sellers. More suppliers in the market can increase overall supply. Expectations. Future price expectations can affect current supply. Government policies, taxes, subsidies, and regulations can influence supply levels. Equilibrium. The interaction of supply and demand determines market equilibrium, where the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded at a certain price level. At this point, the market is in balance, and there is no tendency for the price to change unless an external factor affects supply or demand. Economists' views. Many economists have contributed significantly to the understanding of supply and demand. Here are a few perspectives. Alfred Marshall. Marshall popularized the concept of supply and demand in his book, Principles of Economics, 1890. He introduced the idea of the equilibrium price and emphasized the importance of elasticity in understanding how market dynamics could shift due to changes in supply or demand. Jean-Baptiste Say, known for Say's law, he asserted that supply creates its own demand. He believed that production inherently leads to consumption, suggesting that overproduction or underconsumption could be more related to market restrictions than to fundamental flaws in the supply and demand model. John Maynard Keynes. In the context of his Keynesian economics, Keynes challenged classical views, proposing that demand, especially aggregate demand, plays a critical role during economic downturns. He believed that insufficient demand could lead to prolonged periods of unemployment, emphasizing the need for government intervention to stimulate demand. Friedrich Hayek. Hayek argued for the importance of price signals in a free market. He believed that supply and demand reflect individual preferences and that price adjustments help allocate resources efficiently without centralized planning. Milton Friedman. Friedman highlighted the significance of demand and monetary policy in influencing economic variables. His work on the quantity theory of money integrated supply and demand principles with monetary supply to explain price levels and inflation. Please like, subscribe, and leave comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching.